Okay, so first what we have is the pH meter itself. So this is the pH meter. This is the pH electrode in the storage solution. And then this is the arm. So when you move it on the bottom, move the whole thing. Don't try to move it like this because, see, it doesn't work so well. And this goes up and down. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to pull that out, pull it down, and take this, just put it up there. Okay, so we need to rinse this. So what you'll see is that the electrode junctions are on either side and the bottom. Be very careful about the bottom. Don't hit this with anything. Okay, you may want to rinse it one more time. Between each solution, do it all the way up. And then let's use our pH 7 buffer. I'm going to put this down into there. And then essentially, you need it to be above that. So you want that to be even. And so now what we have, just turn it around, put this in the middle. There we go. And there we have it. Let's see, there's a bubble under there. So what you need to do is you need to move it around a little bit and stick it back down in there. There we go. So now let's go to the calibration mode here. Okay, so let's click on this. Calibrate. Now what you need to do is you need to let this calibrate now. You need to look at this right here. So this needs to be stable, this number. If it's the last digit, that's fine, but make sure that this is nice and stable. And so the reading is 7.00, and then keep. And now it's asking for the second volume value. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, turn this off, pull it up. Avoid touching this with your hand. Wipe it down. Rinse. Wipe it down. Get this out of the way. Let's put our pH 4 buffer in there. Just do calibration. Get it stirring, for example. And then ideally just put that down in there, nice and gentle. So we need to look at it from the side, of course. And so if this is a problem, what you need to find out is that it can be very difficult to get this all the way down in there. So what you can do is you can bring it down a little bit more. There we go. And then what we need to do Make sure this is stable. That number right there. And this is 4.00. And keep, and this should be right around there. And then hit OK. So now this is the reading. So we can test it, for example. And do this. And then we can test it. So this is 10.00, 10.09. So it's a little bit off, but for the purposes of what we're doing, this will be fine. Plus, we calibrate it from 4 to 7, not from 4 to 10, because it's a 2-point calibration. We could go back and we could look at, for example, the pH 7 buffer to see if it's accurate there. Oops. And then this is what we're looking at here. .00. All right. Look at how this is off to the side, and the stir bar is down here. Okay, so that way we can put down the sodium hydroxide into here and still get good values. So let's turn this up a little bit more. There we go. See how it's indented a little bit, maybe? You see that? So now what we need to do is we now have our first reading. 2.54. Okay, so you'd write that down in your notebook. Then you would take your 500 microliter pipette, your 0.5 normal sodium hydroxide, and now you can use the same pipette tip for this all, just don't contaminate it. So I've got this reading right here. And you can go in. So remember, for pipetting, it's 1 and then up. And so when we look at this, what we want to make sure that we do is put it down, put it into our solution, and gently lift up. Okay? And so that right there is the proper volume. Again, if we look at my hand movements, okay, so I'm pushing it down. I am then putting it into the solution towards the top, and then I'm releasing slowly and the volume is there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put it in, not over near there, right down there. Okay? And don't put it in the liquid, just squirt it in a little bit. And so then we look at our measurement. 2.58. Let it calm down. Okay. And I'm just going to so we can see that the value now is changing as well. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're letting it, and so look at this. I'm seeing it change. So now if you get something like that in there, that's an important aliquot. See that? So try to get it out. And if not, just go ahead and a tiny amount like that, show it to me, and then I'll let you know what to do with it. And now this needs to be discarded. So you see how it's rapidly moving up now? So that's the fact that it's rapidly moving up means that we're hitting a certain part of the titration curve. If you're doing this, right, and putting it in there, so if you've got liquid there, right, you have some liquid on the end there and you can't get it off, or it's in the middle, go ahead and put it into the solution, pipette up gently, put it back down to make sure you get all of the solution in there. But now this pipette tip is contaminated with that, so you cannot put it back in there. So it's okay, go ahead and stick it in another waste beaker. There you go. Okay, so now we need to neutralize this solution. If you look at this pH, I didn't finish the titration, but that's at pH 9.35. So what we have here is we've got 6 normal hydrochloric acid, and we have 1 normal hydrochloric acid. So what we can do first is for the 6 normal hydrochloric acid, take a little bit, make sure it's all in the squeezy bowl pipette, and then I'm going to add this dropwise. Look at that, only took one drop. So this, then put back in there. Put that in there. Yeah. That actually, that's great. That can go down the drain, but let's go ahead and use this one normal to finish it off. So we're going to use the one normal pipette. Take a little bit, and then we're going to add a drop. Look at that. Oops. Get back into one normal. And in there. Alright. So this go back down in the drain. Another thing we can do is use these pH papers right here. So you only want one. Okay. So that's what we see. So that's what we see right there, pH 7. So that looks good to go. And this can go into the waste.